keeping Daboll? Because that's a big question this offseason's coming. Now, the report came out today from Jordan Schultz on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. He said, sources, while ownership has suggested he'll return, there's a growing sense that Giants head coach Brian Daboll is coaching for his job over the final 7 games. That's part of why he chose Tommy DeVito over Drew Lock as the starting quarterback. Now, there was also an issue with Darius Slayton this past weekend, liking a comment about Nick McCloud stating he's free now from the team. So there's questions, guys, going around this team. Does Daboll have control over this team? Is Daboll the best guy with the offense going forward, or was his offensive prowess overstated because of the success of Josh Allen that may or not been part of him? We still don't know that fully. There's questions here, guys. And Rob, my grace, but 3 years later, those questions are still there, and they're still valid, probably, aren't they? I mean,
100% still there, still valid. I mean, yeah. Sorry.
What?
Sorry. Get notifications on all over the place here.
Notifications.
Notifications. It's that part of the live podcast. Sorry. Yeah, no, there's Brian Daboll. I think you have to give the guy another shot. Like, you have to. From what he had to work with, he's shown a lot. Like, he has not lost the locker room, like you said. He's actually kept the locker room together for quite a bit.
I think consider
what has gone on the past couple of years, he's done a great job keeping guys playing to the end. Like, there was no need for the Giants to beat the Eagles. Week 18 last year. Well, we did. We did, knocked him out of the number 1 spot over there. So, yeah, he needs to stay. But if you make him stay, obviously, like, he stays, you're probably going to keep him for another 3 years. Probably 2 at a minute.
You're going to draft a quarterback and then change his coach the next year?
Yeah. So that's something that you have to think about. Like, you have to see how he plays with it and what he does with the for the rest of the year. Like you said, he's going to put the young guys in and see how they play and evaluate the players. And that's something the Mara family and the Tisch family is going to have to look into and be like, do we keep him or don't we? Do we trust him?
Yep. Should he stay or should he go now? And I think that's the big thing is that you hit the nail on the head there talking about you're keeping him probably for a little while, potentially no matter what, if that happens, because we're going to draft a quarterback. This is the guy who's supposed to be a quarterback guru. And, you're going to draft the guy and then fire the head coach the next year? Like, that's not a good move. If you're going to start fresh, start fresh.
100%.
If you're not going to, then stick to the plan and keep it going there. And problem you run into is we don't have access, and even the media people, they keep it toned down, obviously, when the media's in the locker room. We don't know what's going on in that locker room. We don't. Let's be honest, guys. We have not a single clue. I know people love to sit there and say, oh, well, this is going on. You have no clue unless you're in there. And we got to, I think that ownership has to have the idea of knowing what's going on in that block. Because I really think what's going to happen is you keep Daboll and Shane or you keep neither. And we'll talk about Shane in a minute here, but it's like
they're packaged still
fresh or you stick to the plan. And a lot of the sticking to the plan, to me, depends on a few things. What do you think of Brian Daboll as far as a guy to keep the locker room together? What do you think of him as the guy to go ahead and get the quarterback that you're going to draft to the level he has to be? And the third thing that I don't think is being talked about enough is what do you think about Brian Daboll being able to attract talent along with him? Because Mike Kafka is going to be gone here this year, guys. Let's be very frank on that. Mike Kafka is gone. His bags are already packed. He cannot wait to get into Dodge.
He already bought his 24 sticker.
Yeah, like he is ready to go. And that being the case, then we need to get a new offensive coordinator. And you can't just get any offensive coordinator. You have to get somebody who is going to be either has been a very good quarterback coach or somebody who's been a good offensive coordinator in the league already. You can't just hire Joe Schmo off the streets for that kind of job, especially with a rookie quarterback. Because again, you mentioned the 3-year thing. You want to have continuity with the young quarterback. You want to be the only reason I have to give up my offensive coordinator is because somebody wants to hire him for a head coach because of how good a job he did with this kid.
Yep.
That's what you want. Now, we mentioned before in the show, and I'll mention it again, Davis Webb, I think, is a decent option there. He's a quarterback coach right now for the Broncos, obviously doing pretty decent there with the job they're doing there with Bo Nix over there, who's, I think, exceeding expectations for himself there. That's maybe an option there, but if you're Mara, if you're Tisch, you have to hear, okay, this is the plan. This is why I'm the guy for this job. I'm going to do this and this with the quarterback, and I'm going to do this and this with the analytic approach to how I'm going to pick a quarterback, because that's a very important part of this as well. Do you trust this guy to be one of the loudest members of the room when they're talking about what quarterback to pick? And then you got to talk to the players and see what they think. And I don't know. I know. Listen, Mara likes to not meddle, I think, a lot more than people give him credit for. I think honestly, he's got a bad rep right now with the fans, mostly because of the fact that he's the one consistent. He's the one steady guy that's been around since the losing started. Also around for the
it's also kind of fair, but yeah.
Some of it is, but I mean, look at, again, all stage we know, but let's be honest, he wanted to keep Saquon. Saquon in here.
I thought I said you just look at Harbaugh.
He could have meddled a lot more than people give him credit for not meddling. Unless he played a role, he wanted Saquon to go on too, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make it look like I don't meddle." Like, who knows?
Touche.
It's
I'm
TV.
not. Yep.
TV.
But I'm not in Hollywood. I'm not in New York.
But yeah,
I'm also not, a camera guy.
But he's got to sit down with the players and get involved this offseason early on. Find out what they actually think about Brian Daboll. And he's got to actually have a heart-to-heart with these guys and figure that out, because if he's the guy, like you said, he's going to have to be the guy for a while. And that's something we need to figure out. So,
if you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.